Hi, everybody. Lovely to see you all. Welcome to Scotland, virtual Scotland, actual Scotland for some of us. Welcome to Scotland. Lovely to see you all. When you're in and you can hear me, if you're happy to put your camera on, we'd love to see you. So lovely to see some of our ambassadors who are joining us as well. If you can't switch your camera on, please don't worry, but we would love to see your faces. It also means that we can kind of help you as we go. So it'd be great if you could do that. So for those of you who are brand new to the foundation, a huge welcome. Welcome to Scotland and to the exploration of this first tune that Jenna has arranged, which Phil has written for us, who we met yesterday. So this tune goes off on its travels, and this is the first of its different iterations, and really pleased that Jenna has written something that is just so incredible, and that she's also here to teach us and to talk to us all about it. So it's going to be a really exciting session. We've got some of our ambassadors. We've got Heather and we've got Chrissy, both violinists. Chrissy's going to lead us in a little warm-up in a minute, and they're on the chat. So if you've got any questions or anything's a bit confusing, please feel free to write to them. And we've also got the wonderful Andrea Geitch, violinist extraordinaire, who is our tutor. She's here as well, so she'll be on the chat. And she'll be just working with Jenna throughout the session. So again, any questions, please do feel free to write to anybody. It's just lovely to see so many of you. If you have any questions at all throughout, just pop them in the chat or just raise your virtual hand, and we might have some time at the end for anything specific, but please don't, do just ask as we go. So I think I will hand over to Chrissy for our warm-up and have a lovely session. Thank you for joining us. Chrissy.
Thank you, Laura. Hi, everyone. We're just going to start with some basic stretches, nothing too strenuous. We're going to start off with some head turns. So if you'd like to start by turning your head to the left and feeling a nice stretch, don't force anything, but it's nice to feel a good stretch to know that we're warming ourselves up. And then turn your head to the right and hold that there. And then when you're ready, back to the left. And then one more time, back to the right. Great, and now we're going to do the same thing, but this time we're going to do head drops. So we're going to start by tipping our head forwards. Feel a nice stretch down the back of your neck. Again, don't force anything. And then tilt your head back. And then forward again. And then when you're ready, one more time, tilt it back. Great, now we're going to do some things with our shoulders. So first we're just going to roll our shoulders backwards. These are great stretches. They're all inspired by BAPAM, which is the British Performing Arts Medicine, I think. Yeah, I always use them before I practice now. And then if you'd like to move your shoulders forward, change direction. Since I started doing these, I've noticed such a difference in my sound, but also I get so much less aches and pains, particularly when I'm sitting down, like in orchestras and ensemble playing. And then one more time, we'll go backwards again. And then when you're ready, we'll go forwards one more time. Great, so we're just going to do one more exercise, and this is going to warm up our hands. What I'd like you to do is clench your hands into a fist and really squeeze them. And then when you're ready, stretch them out. Feel a nice stretch through your hands. Give them a wiggle if you fancy. And then again, clench your fists again. And when you're ready, stretch them out. And then one more time, clench your fists. Give them a good squeeze. And stretch them out. Great, and then just shake everything off. It's just nice to shake all of that off. Great. I hope that's helped. I hope you're feeling warmed up, ready to go. And now I'm going to pass over to Andrea.
Thanks a lot, Chrissy. That was fantastic. And yes, those BAPAM exercises are really fantastic. And I see that Heather has shared the website in the chat. So do check them out. Excellent. Okay, well, I'm really looking forward to this afternoon's session. I'm talking to you from Glasgow, where the sun is shining, believe it or not, and the weather is absolutely glorious. And I'm thrilled to be with you and supporting the wonderful Jenna Reid, who's going to be leading this session on this version of Phil's tune, this reel, which is really fantastic. But before we do that, why don't we all tune up, because there are loads of double stops, fun double stops in this melody. So I'm going to give you an A. And if you just take, everybody's tuned up, I'm going to hand over to Jenna. If you have any questions along the way, please feel free to message me in the chat, or our wonderful ambassadors, Heather and Chrissy. So welcome, Jenna.
Hello, it's lovely to be here. Thank you so much, Andrea, for the introduction and for the warming up. We don't always kind of do enough of that, I suppose, and get ourselves into knots and all sorts. So it's actually really important. So I wasn't aware of that website, so I'm definitely going to be looking that up and having a further check. It's great to see you. We're going to play this tune together today, and as Andrea said, it's full of double stops, but I think what we're going to do to start with is just take the tune by itself without all of that involved. So hopefully today we're going to look through the melody, getting it really fluent, checking out all this different bowing that we have, looking at slides, looking at double stopping, getting these burls really tight and clear. But first of all, let me play it for you and you can get an idea of how it goes. Okay. So that's it kind of with full of double stops. If I play you just the A part without that. And so on. So let's just try and get to grips and feel comfortable with the melody in the first instance of just the straight ahead melody without any of the double stops. So thinking of the notes first of all, let's concentrate on that. Then we're going to add the bowing, then the double stops. And then the final thing is to start to work up on the tempo. But we'll get on to that. So after 3, okay, we're gonna go ba da dum ba da da dee da 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 dee da da. That that kind of tempo. 1, 2, 3. Lovely, well done, well done. So even before we add any double stops into it, there's a load of stuff going on. Let's just take this first little section. We're wanting to slide into that F sharp on the top. So we've got down, down, down. Now, the reason that we're sliding into that top F, well, it sounds nice, but apart from that, it's the offbeat. So we want to emphasize that. So we're not going to be always playing 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 4, 2, 4, 2, 4. So it's really, that's a huge part of Scottish fiddle playing. Try that with me, the down, 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 and then go for that top F. 1, 2, 3. 2, 2, 3. That's it. 2, 3. Down, down. Now, that down bow, those 3 on a down, have a go at starting near the heel. We sometimes shy away from this and we sort of can get into the habit of playing everything in the middle of the bow. But get that lovely swooping sound by starting at the heel. 1, 2, 3. Lovely. If we're talking about bowing further, if we move on, we've got that lovely grace note, the C sharp B, and just play it as if you're going for that downbeat on a down bow, just like that. 1, 2. That's it. 1, 2. So if I play that bar, that second bar, one, two, try it with me, and up, down, down, up. Let's slow it down and let's really get that bowing. So 1, 2, up, down, down, up, down, up, and again, and up, up, down, down. Let's do that again and I'll do it correct. And up, down, down, up. One more time and up, down, down. Lovely. This is huge big bows we're taking. If it's faster, which we're going to aim for, it's going to feel way lighter. Can we go somewhere in the middle, tempo-wise? 1, 2. And again. Up, down, up. Lovely. So we're shifting the direction of the bow where we're not normally thinking that it should be in that place, okay? So that's what's making it sound swingy, because of the bowing. It's all to do with our right arm. So if I was playing it straight ahead, it would be... Okay, but we're not. We're just going to put in a slur, a tie on that D, and then a slur. And give those ups and downs a wee emphasis. So 1, 2, 3, and lovely. Just to add one thing to this, a unison, a stretched third. It's really common in Scottish music. In strathspeys, you get that all the time. So we're going to add it in, a D unison. So we want our stretched third finger, a big C sharp. Use that C sharp to be a support to the fourth finger. Okay? And that is the bar number 4, that up slur. But we play the D string and the G string at the same time. You get that lovely raspy, kind of rough sounding. So a lot of the time I'm asked about fourth fingers, and while I probably wouldn't put fourth fingers in among a busy pattern on the E string, for instance, I wouldn't put a fourth finger in there. It's not gonna make it sound better for me. But here, my fourth is really gonna help it sound rich and just full of character. That's what it's about. That's what music's about. We're gonna add that in this time. Ready? 1, 2, 3, and 4, and up. One more. Lovely. And because we're going at this sort of slowish type of tempo, we're able to use these full bows, which is the best practice ever. Everything's slowed down to magnify all the parts, so we know exactly what we're doing and we're playing it really precisely. If we practiced this really quickly, it would just be a bit of a mess the whole time. So we're not moving on from it, we're not developing it or getting better at it. But if we've got... So next thing, same bit, let's miss out the double stopping, but we're going to play it quicker with the bowing, like this. So, and down, up. I know that's hard, but one more. 1 and 2 and lovely. Make that F sharp in bar number 3, the last quaver. Give that a bit of accent. Give it some punch. And then can we finish the phrase right at the heel? So that's the notes. Although we're gonna, as you can see, the end of line 1, we're slurring with a down. So the emphasis has started before beat 1. Ba-dum-ba-dum-ba-da. So it's not ba 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 ba, ba-dum-ba-dum-ba-da, ba-dum-ba-dum-ba-da. So a bit slower. 1, 2, 3, and down, down. Lovely. Bar number 5. I just want to throw in an idea about double stopping that might be helpful. Bar number 5. So the tune is... Now see what happened there. Second, third. Just keep that second down. Okay? Does that make sense? So the fourth note in bar 5, keep the F sharp down that you just played. Okay? It conserves energy. These wee fingers, they don't need to lift up, if necessarily. And your double stop is gonna be perfectly in tune because you just played the note. Okay? Let's move on. Bar 6. Let's play this.
Question, Jenna, from someone just about vibrato, because they were asking, what are your thoughts on vibrato?
I do love it. I love it. Is it one of these things that's a bit Marmitey, in the wrong place, in the right place? It's a bit like sliding, although there's something lovely about deciding where you're going to put the vibrato. So if we take this tune out of the like in a slow piece, for instance, I know it doesn't exactly transfer, but you might go and just at the end of the note. So in this kind of thing, in this tune, I like it because it adds to the character, and gives you that feeling of kind of strength, I think, behind the tune. But you'd be absolutely fine without it. It's so hard, isn't it, when you do it all the time and then you try to stop. So if you've not got into that habit, that's a perfect place to be, because habits are habits and they're hard to break. So it's like everything. It's like this sheet of paper that you've got in front of you is just a starting point. You don't have to do this bowing. You don't have to do these ornaments. You don't have to do the accents. You doesn't even have to be at a certain tempo. It can be anything. This is just the bounce that we start with is just this sheet of paper. However, what if we ditched the piece of paper for a minute and we just played this? How about we turn our sheet over? Huh? And we just go down, down. 2, 3. And even if you close your eyes. 2, 3, and 1, 2. I know I start to play differently, maybe better, maybe cleaner. Maybe my listening has just shifted up a gear. So at the end of the day, when we're playing the fiddle, it's all about how it sounds. Sound and tone are like the top. For me, everybody's, this is a whole other discussion. But tone and sound. So that's why we're going to practice everything slowly, because it's going to sound beautiful and clear and considered. And it's when we speed it up, we've done all the groundwork, so the notes just don't go in a complete jumbled mess. Okay, so how about we try this by ear? One, 2, 3. Don't worry if the bowing's changed, it doesn't matter. And let's think of the sound. 2, 3. One, 2, sound only. is that an area to think, golly, I think I played it kind of differently? Or it's a real moment of thinking, did I play it differently? What's different about it? Maybe I'll record myself with the music and then without, and I'm going to listen back. It might be the tiniest of detail. Often when you can sing things, you can play it. Da da dum da 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 dee da da da. You can definitely remember it if you sing it to yourself. It stays in there. It's like your favourite song. I bet you can remember the words to it because you sing and you sing and you sing. Exactly, Andrea. Sing it, then play it. Sing it, then play it. And it'll stick. It'll absolutely stick. This is just the mechanism to get it out there. Let's do some more playing. Let's do some more playing together. So let's go from the top of the tune. We're going to play all the way through, and then I'm going to pick a few more bits that we're going to work on. So from the top. 1, 2, 3. Lovely. Okay, we're going to zoom into a couple of bits of bars here. Let's look at bar number 14. We've got some semiquavers. You want them to be so clear. So start with your bow on the string, on that down bow. 1, 2. If you can, slide up to the F sharp. And then 1 down and 3 up. That 1 down and 3 up, I almost bet it's on every traditional Shetland tune. It's the pure characteristic of Shetland bowing. So let's try that bar. 1, 2 on the string. Lovely. So, and again, and we'll keep going. 1, 2. There it is again. 1 down and 3 up. Bar 15. Up. And then I want this is one of my favourite bits, this 3 down and 3 up. And it's a straight ahead bunch of quavers. But if we add the bowing in, it shifts the emphasis of the downbeat. 2, 3, and 16, bar 16, and can you do that little bar 17? As close to the heel as you can be. So if you had a tiny note written on your hand, you'd actually be able to see it. Okay, so try not to go, okay, yeah, I'm at the heel. Shift it again, another 4 inches, poof, to here. And if it's like, oh no, that's my uncomfortable zone, then just do it. Just do it. It's just such good practice. So from bar 16, let's do both bars 16 and 17. 1, 2, 3, and again. So I've got my pinky on here the whole time, or else it's gonna fall in a heap. So 1, 2, 3, and. And you don't have to be as spiccato as that, because if it's faster, you know, you can be on the string, but you still get that lovely syncopated feel with the slurs. If you want, at bar 17, imagine you took the first quaver out and that was a rest. That's quite a fun thing. So bar 17, that open D and open A, ditch that altogether for a moment. Da do da ba da 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 dee da do. Use it as a way of getting nearer the heel again, you know, sort of. Sorry. And start after the rest going on an up bow. Up. And it sounds a bit funny, slow, but when it's faster, not that much faster, it's really fun. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, and. Yeah, lovely. You're putting a bit of space in the music. There's a ton of quavers in this music, and it's great, but it's like when we zip down to bar 29, you've got that top high A, and you want it to scream out and be so strong. Kind of a mix of sweetness but power behind it. And because it's the longest note that you've played for ages, so you want it to be a bit of a relief, really. So if I show you what I mean, la la la, bar 27. So we're gonna go on an up bow, but you want quite a long up bow. So the notes previous need to be really clear. And. Yeah, the slide. Let's finish the bar, because it's really nice to go down, down after it and get right to the heel for that F and then E, C sharp. So bar 29, 3 and 4 and. I did it wrong, let's do it again. 1, 2. Yeah, lovely, lovely. So let's go from bar 26. That's kind of like a new phrase, but notice that we're starting on an up. Okay, so a little bit of bowing going on there. 1, 2, 3, 26. Yeah, let's do that again. Those 4 bars, 26. 1, 2. Yeah, that's it. I wonder if we could do it a little bit quicker. Let's see if we can do that. So from 26 again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Two, 3, and again. Lovely. And then we've got this double stop coming up. It's not really a double stop, it's an open string, a ringing string. Bar 30. And it's really extra nice with that C sharp before it. You get that discord and then it resolves. It's like, woohoo! You get to the... So let's just look at that last bar, that burl. So burls is so 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. They're much easier to play at the top of the bow. You want every single note to be the same.
Jenna,
Yeah.
how do you spell the word burl?
Well, sometimes B-I-R-L, but B-U-R-L.
Right.
Burl.
So it's like a sort of a type of ornamentation?
Yes, absolutely. It's like 10 a penny in Scottish tunes. You know, you get that. So it's just it's sort of like a decoration, but it's not really an ornament in that it's actually part of the melody.
And even the use of those sort of, I love the way you say ringing tones, those open strings, right? That's embellishment too. I mean, isn't it? So even though it's not written, it doesn't mean that it can't be there either.
Yes, it's not written, but it doesn't mean it's not there. Exactly. So when we have a sheet of music in Scottish music, it doesn't look like what I've sent you. So please be aware if you go and buy a book or something, it's like, well, that's not what we did on Sunday. I've kind of purposely filled it full of notes because these it's like they're just always there. We're in the key of D for this tune, so we've got this. We've got that kind of starts to get a bit Cajun, starts to get a bit old-timey, that kind of A and D thing together. With the wee ones this morning, or whenever it was, we were... making up any tune, but staying on the A string, and that D just keeps going. So it's fun to mess around with that, even if you just record yourself playing a bunch of open A's and D's. Any rhythm? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you can play over the top of it. And then you're trying a bit of improvisation within the key. So in a sense, that's what I've done with Phil's tune. I've kind of improvised around about it and come up with this, which you guys have got. So that's the purpose of the ringing strings. It goes back to when people would play for weddings in Shetland 100 years ago or so, and you would only have your fiddle, only the fiddle. And so you needed it to be louder. So the resonance of that ringing string really carries in a room above the sound of folk dancing. So that's why we have it today. And so on. But it's an aspect of this tune that you can add in later when you feel really comfy with the melody. Will we try through the whole thing? Will we go for it? Let's have a play through.
So Just one more thing, Jenna, that was just I know that you spoke to them in the last session about that bowing. There was in bar
Yes,
20.
let's do that. It was a certain passage, wasn't it?
It was just, we focused on the bowing, there after the double bar, so in bar 18, but also just that bar 20, the last beat, we slurred those two quavers.
Yes, bar 20, the last two quavers. Shove a wee slur on the top of that. That's better if it's slurred. So there's a couple of wee bits. In the beginning of bar 18, you've got that 3 down, 3 up, and it happens in the next bar. So let's get that going, because that's where there's a lot of characteristic. So we're going to go down, 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 then up, 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 and then separate, separate. So let's do that again together. 1, 2. Up, up, up. 1, 2, and again. Up, up, up. Let's do the same thing a bit quicker. 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, quicker. 2, 3, 4. And you want to put the emphasis on that open D with the change onto the up string, up bow. Then we do the same in the next bar. Do you see where that F sharp? Ba, ba, ba. So we may as well keep that second finger down and play it with your third. And that becomes a nice double stop. So bar 19. Let's do that together really slowly on bar 19. Ready? 1, 2. Yes, that's right, Chris. Yeah, Chris. Yeah, we just added that wee slur in at the end of bar 20. So let's do that bar 19 again. And we're looking to put in the F sharp with the D and play them simultaneously. Ready? And. Like so. Ready? And. So it's just finding out those little corners of slurs that seem unusual and just working on them dead slow and building it up and building it up. And then you would add in your kind of double stops. Or what most of the time is, it's just that open D ringing along. There's a little thing I want to show you, a little extra burl. If we look at bar number 16, we've got this. Do you see the last two quavers in that bar, the B and the low A? Have a try at making the B 2 semiquavers, so it becomes a burl. If you put that in, slur the A to the next note in the beginning of bar 17, like this. Down, down. And I love sliding off that first finger. It would be a nice way to finish the tune in its entirety, to go back to the A part and finish on the end of bar 17 because you're not playing the root. So the root of the chord of the tune would be finishing on a D chord, but it's something really nice and hanging to just play that. Yeah, to play the fourth. Maybe an harmonic at the end as well, on both strings. So it would be like this. Yeah, we talked about, I don't know if everyone caught me when I said it. Bar number 20, we added a slur. Okay, so we added a slur. I'm going to type it in. At end of bar 20. Okay, into 21. We added a slur. Okay. Let's do that same rehearsal again. We're nearly finished. 1, 2, 3, and. Lovely. 1, 2, one more time. Fantastic, fantastic. So all of these aspects, what I've done is we've picked out lots of different things. We've not just played the whole thing 16 times through to practice it. We've practiced, and it's really good idea to try and think of how to practice, because it's quite important. It's just little spots, the hard bits. Even it's just iron them out, get them out slowly, play them upside down, roundabout. Sometimes when I'm playing a fast passage of quavers, I like going, say, let's take the first bit. Or and it gets us really, really clean at string crossing because we're spending more time on each note. So I'm doing 3 of one note, then 1 of the other. 3 of one note, then 1 of the other. Then I turn it on its head and I do 1 and then 3. Or, and it gets us really much stronger at ups as well as downs. Okay, because it changing that each time means that we can't rely on being the strongest on our down bow. So that's an important point to make as well. Loads of things that we could go on for hours about, but I hope that that's given you a little insight into how to go about practicing this and the little turns and how to bring it to life.
Thanks so much, Jenna. I mean, this with bowing, it's as you said, it's personal, and every time you play this piece, you may add another slur or take away, right? I mean, it's
totally.
And the same with the slides and the double stops. I mean, what Jenna said about using this music really just as a guide, getting the melody into your head. Don't worry about, the double stops. Try to focus mainly on feeling the character, feeling the swing.
Yeah.
And singing it is such a useful way.
Yeah.
To feel the music and to find a way to play it, isn't it?
Totally. It's getting it off the page and it not sounding wooden. And if you just inject those tiny bit of slurs, and doing that slowly rather than quickly is far better than playing something fast and it just not coming to life. So forget tempo. Focus on the swing. Get it into your head and really know it. Even if that's all you sing to yourself, it'll really help when it comes to playing it.
And feeling those motions in the right hand and right arm. You've been talking a lot about that, feeling the swing in the bow and experimenting with the different parts of the bow. I mean, this is such a sort of, you can have so much fun and explore so many different ways of playing it. So that was amazing. Thank you so much, Jenna.
Oh, it was great to see you all. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, thank you. And I think we're handing over to Laura. So I hope you've enjoyed the session as much as I had. I've so much to think about, and we can have fun with those barrels.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you everybody who's come along and joined in. It's been so lovely to see you all. I've been watching you all just playing away. It's amazing. Thank you, Heather and Chrissy, our ambassadors, and Chrissy for your warm up. It was lovely. And Andrea for being here with us this evening. And of course to Jenna for her amazing arrangement and for all her sessions that she's done today. And what is going to happen next is that the version you already have that has Jenna and the wonderful Anna Massey playing the guitar. And if you haven't heard, you should look up Blazing Fiddles. That's what I didn't say at the beginning. Jenna plays in an amazing group called Blazing Fiddles. So do look them up. We've taken that audio out of that video, added a click into it, and we'll be sending that back to you so that you can practice away with it. And then in your own time, when you kind of feel ready and want to, we'd love to have a recording from you that we're going to then put together into this kind of world premiere of Jenna's version of Phil's tune. And then next weekend we'll be traveling over to Egypt, where it'll be very warm in our virtual land, and we're going to be working with the Ayub sisters on an Arabian version of this music. So that's very exciting to see what's going to happen to. And I've heard it actually, and it's incredible to see what you've both done with it. And obviously they grew up in Scotland, so there's so many connections there. It's amazing. So I hope you're all going to enjoy continuing to play away with Jenna's tune. I've had it in my head all week. So it's been a wonderful evening. Thank you everybody for joining. And I think what we'll just do is unmute all together and say goodbye. And we look forward to seeing you all again next weekend in